Hi guys, it's Legionero. Welcome back to the channel, and I would like to welcome all of my new subscribers. So today in my bag making experience, if this is the first video you're watching, I am trying to recreate my work bag. All right, so in the first video I took measurements, I drew out the pattern, and then in the second video, I cut the fabric and interfacing, and I pressed the interfacing onto the fabric. Today, I'm getting ready to start actually building the bag. So I won't waste any more time. I am going to take a couple of things to the sewing machine with me. One is the straps. I have two of them. Also the strap tabs. I'm going to take the mesh, and I'm going to add the elastic to the top part of the mesh. I'm also going to take the side panels with me, and once I sew the elastic to the top part of the mesh, I'm going to add the mesh to the side panel. I am going to put together the front pocket and then add the front pocket to one of the front pieces. Right, so for the front pocket, I need to put right side spacing. I need to make sure I have it going the right way first. What I'm doing, just making sure I'm sewing everything correctly. So this is my pocket, my two pieces. I'm going to place them with right side spacing, and I'm going to pin across the top. Oh, and I didn't say this in the very beginning. This is not a tutorial. This is just me experimenting and trying to put together another version of my work bag. Right, and then I'm just going to sew down that edge, flip it over, give it a good press, flip it over, and then add it to one of my front pieces. Grab everything else. And I'm sewing everything with a 1/2 inch seam allowance, because that's the seam allowance that I added when I was drawing out the pattern. So let's see how this goes. right, so I got all of that sewing done. So what I think I need to do next is, I probably should have took this with me the last time. This is the little bottom panel. I'm going to take that and place it with right side spacing. Right. And I'm going to sew the shorter ends together using a 1/2 inch seam allowance. So let's pin that, and then I'm just going to sew these ends 1/2 inch seam allowance. Then I'm going to, these are the 2 side panels. I added the mesh. This is the front of the bag. This is the back of the bag. So just gonna take the front and one of the side panels and place them with right side spacing. Need my clips. Alright, so I got that clip together, and this is the front. So now I'm going to take the back piece and I'm going to clip it on the other side. Right, so that's what that looks like. And then once I sew those two together, then I'm going to add the other side panel and sew it the same way to the free ends of the front and the back. All right, so wish me luck. I think it's coming together. All right, so I have it all sewn together. I turn it to the right side. So super cool, guys. All right, so I need to take this bottom piece and I need to attach it here. And my bottom piece may be a little too big. If it is, I can change the seam allowance, but I'll have to change my measurements in the original measurements, but we're gonna see in a second. I'm gonna try to line up these seam allowances on the inside, just so the front and back will match up. So that's the front. This is the front and this is the back. So I always leave my clips. Oh, tip, do not iron on your mat. You will warp your mat. Found that out the hard way. Guess that should have been common sense. I'm gonna take these clips out before I sew it. I just need it to be in place so I can add this bottom. All right, so here's the bag, and I did press my seams, but I had to be careful because I wasn't sure how the mesh was going to press. So, all right, so here's the bag. This is the bottom of the bag here. So I'm going to take this and place it around. But I wanted to make sure that the seam allowances matched up. So we're gonna see if this is the right size. And if you want to, just to make sure you get the center, you can clip the center in the bottom. Or on the sides, I mean, you can clip just to make sure it lines up correctly. So you can make a little snip here and line it up with this seam allowance. I think it's fitting pretty good. I'm gonna keep clipping just to see. I can unclip that now. Okay, so I'm just gonna take this to the sewing machine and sew around the edge to attach it. right, so I have the bottom panel added here all the way around. Right. So now what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to try to measure this out and get my lining piece or pieces. All right. Right, so I'm just going to measure across. I don't have anything near me anymore. No pen. Alright, so I am going to write down these measurements for my lining. And then I'm going to draw out the lining. But I think I'm going to do that in the next video. Alright. And I have to make sure I add my seam allowance. So I'm measuring across and then from top to bottom. But I also need to add the recess zipper. All right, so we'll see how that works out. So the last thing I think I'm going to do with this video is add my bottom panel. I did cut 2 of these. I gotta find the other piece because I'm gonna use that in my lining. So I'm gonna fold my bottom panel in half. I'm thinking about curving this. Yeah, I'm just gonna eyeball it and just put like a little curve. There. Like that, and then just fold this in half and cut the other side. Yep, just folding it in half and just gonna use that curve to cut the other curve. All right, so now I'll take this, fold it in half, and find the center. I'm just gonna make a little snip. Same thing on the other end. Alright, so now I can line these snips with this seam allowance. So I need to turn my bag so that the wrong side is facing out. And I have my seam allowances here, so that's a good spot to line it up. So I'm just gonna take it so it's right side spacing, line up that snip. I left my clips again. Pen might be better for this anyway. Then just take this other side and line it up with the other seam allowance. Right, and just continue to pin and pin all the way around. All right, so I have the bottom sewn onto the bag, so I'm just going to turn it to the right side. And I think I need to make my bottom, my actual bottom piece, smaller, because I have a couple of puckers, and then I had to do some adjustments when I was pinning it. So I think I need a deeper curve. So instead of making the bottom a square bottom, I need to make it a curved bottom with a deeper curve here. But that's why we experiment, right? So the bottom is on, and this is what we got so far. Got my front pocket. Oh, gotta turn it around the right way. So I got my front pocket, I got my mesh sides, got my little bottom panel going around. I think I should have put the bottom panel going around in denim, and maybe the bottom in denim too. I think that would have been cute. But yeah. So it's coming together pretty good, guys. Right, so that's it for this video. In the next video, I'm going to draw out and cut out the lining, sew that together with the recessed zipper, and then finish up the bag, I think, and also add the strap to it, which both straps will be an adjustable strap, so that should be interesting. All right, so if you like this video, click the thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe and also hit the notification bell so you'll be notified the next time I post the video, which will hopefully be tomorrow. All right, thanks for watching, guys.